Imagine booking a flight to a dream destination for less than the cost of a fancy dinner. Sounds too good to be true, right? But for millions of travelers around the world, this is the reality made possible by low-cost carriers. These airlines have revolutionized the way we fly, making air travel accessible to people who once thought it was out of reach. But how do they do it? How can they offer such cheap tickets and still turn a profit? Today, we're diving deep into the economics of low-cost carriers, uncovering the secrets behind their success, the challenges they face, and the impact they've had on the world of aviation. Let's start with a story. In the 1970s, air travel was a luxury reserved for the wealthy. Flying meant dressing up, enjoying gourmet meals, and being treated like royalty. But for the average person, it was simply unaffordable. Enter Southwest Airlines, the pioneer of the low-cost carrier model. Founded in 1971, Southwest turned the aviation industry on its head by offering no-frills, point-to-point flights at prices that were unheard of at the time. Their secret? A relentless focus on efficiency, simplicity, and cost-cutting. And it worked. Southwest not only survived but thrived, inspiring a wave of imitators around the world. Fast forward to today, and low-cost carriers like Ryanair, EasyJet, and AirAsia dominate the skies, carrying millions of passengers each year. But how do they keep their costs so low? Let's break it down. The first and most obvious way low-cost carriers save money is by cutting out the extras. Gone are the free meals, spacious seats, and complimentary drinks. Instead, passengers pay for everything from checked baggage to seat selection. This a la carte model allows airlines to offer rock-bottom base fares while generating additional revenue from add-ons. For example, Ryanair famously charges for everything from printing boarding passes to using the restroom on board, though they've since walked back the restroom fee after public backlash. While this might seem stingy, it's a key part of their business model. Another major cost-saving strategy is operating a single type of aircraft. Most low-cost carriers fly only one model, such as the Boeing 737 or Airbus A320. This simplifies maintenance, training, and operations, reducing costs significantly. For example, Southwest operates an all-Boeing 737 fleet, which allows them to streamline everything from pilot training to spare parts inventory. This uniformity is a cornerstone of their efficiency. Low-cost carriers also maximize aircraft utilization. Unlike traditional airlines, which might have planes sitting idle for hours between flights, low-cost carriers keep their planes in the air as much as possible. This means quick turnarounds at the gate, often as short as 25 minutes. The less time a plane spends on the ground, the more flights it can operate in a day, and the more revenue it can generate. It's a simple but effective way to boost profitability. But it's not just about cutting costs, it's also about finding creative ways to generate revenue. Low-cost carriers have mastered the art of ancillary income, which includes everything from baggage fees to in-flight sales. For example, Spirit Airlines, known for its ultra-low fares, generates a significant portion of its revenue from ancillary fees. In fact, some low-cost carriers make more money from add-ons than from ticket sales. This allows them to keep base fares low while still turning a profit. Another key to their success is route selection. Low-cost carriers often focus on short-haul, point-to-point routes rather than complex hub-and-spoke networks. This reduces operational complexity and allows them to serve smaller, secondary airports, which often have lower fees. For example, Ryanair frequently flies to smaller airports outside major cities, such as Beauvais instead of Paris or Bergamo instead of Milan. These airports are cheaper to operate from, and the savings are passed on to passengers in the form of lower fares. But it's not all smooth flying for low-cost carriers. They face significant challenges, from volatile fuel prices to intense competition. Fuel is one of the biggest expenses for any airline, and low-cost carriers are particularly vulnerable to price fluctuations. To mitigate this risk, many engage in fuel hedging, locking in prices in advance to protect against sudden spikes. However, this strategy can backfire if fuel prices drop, leaving the airline stuck with higher-than-market rates. Competition is another major challenge. The success of low-cost carriers has attracted new entrants to the market, leading to price wars and shrinking profit margins. In some regions, such as Europe and Southeast Asia, the market is so saturated that airlines are forced to offer fares as low as $10 just to fill seats. While this is great for consumers, it puts immense pressure on airlines to cut costs even further. Labor costs are another area where low-cost carriers face scrutiny. To keep costs down, many rely on non-unionized labor and offer lower wages than traditional airlines. This has led to criticism and occasional strikes as workers demand better pay and conditions. For example, Ryanair has faced multiple strikes in recent years, disrupting operations and damaging its reputation. Balancing cost-cutting with fair labor practices is a constant tightrope walk for low-cost carriers. Despite these challenges, low-cost carriers have had a profound impact on the aviation industry and society as a whole. They've democratized air travel, making it possible for people from all walks of life to explore the world. For many, flying is no longer a luxury, it's a way of life. This has boosted tourism, connected families, and fueled economic growth in regions that were once off the beaten path. Take AirAsia, for example. Founded in 1993, this Malaysian low-cost carrier has transformed travel in Southeast Asia, making it affordable for millions of people to fly for the first time. AirAsia's slogan, "Now everyone can fly," isn't just a marketing gimmick, it's a reality. By offering fares as low as $20, AirAsia has opened up new opportunities for tourism, trade, and cultural exchange in the region. But the impact of low-cost carriers goes beyond economics. They've also changed the way we think about travel. In the past, flying was seen as a special occasion, something to be savored and enjoyed. Today, it's often treated as a commodity, a means to an end. This shift has its pros and cons. On one hand, it's made travel more accessible. On the other hand, it's led to a decline in the overall passenger experience, with cramped seats, long lines, and fewer amenities. So, what does the future hold for low-cost carriers? One thing is certain, they're here to stay. As the global middle class continues to grow, demand for affordable air travel will only increase. Low-cost carriers are well-positioned to meet this demand, thanks to their efficient business models and ability to adapt to changing market conditions. One emerging trend is the rise of ultra-low-cost carriers, ULCCs, which take the low-cost model to the extreme. Airlines like Spirit, Frontier, and Wizz Air offer even lower fares by cutting costs to the bone. This includes everything from reducing legroom to charging for carry-on bags. While this might not appeal to everyone, it's a growing segment of the market, particularly among budget-conscious travelers. Another trend is the expansion of low-cost carriers into long-haul markets. Traditionally, low-cost carriers have focused on short-haul flights, but some are now venturing into longer routes. For example, Norwegian Air Shuttle has successfully operated low-cost flights between Europe and the United States, challenging legacy carriers on price. However, long-haul low-cost operations come with their own set of challenges, including higher fuel costs and the need for more amenities to keep passengers comfortable on longer flights. Sustainability is also becoming a key focus for low-cost carriers. As concerns about climate change grow, airlines are under pressure to reduce their carbon footprint. This includes investing in more fuel-efficient aircraft, exploring alternative fuels, and offsetting emissions through carbon credits. For example, EasyJet has committed to becoming carbon neutral by offsetting all of its flights, while Ryanair has invested in newer, more efficient planes to reduce fuel consumption. In conclusion, the economics of low-cost carriers are a fascinating mix of innovation, efficiency, and adaptability. By cutting costs, maximizing revenue, and focusing on simplicity, these airlines have made air travel accessible to millions of people around the world. But they also face significant challenges, from volatile fuel prices to intense competition and labor disputes. As we look to the future, low-cost carriers will continue to play a vital role in the aviation industry, shaping the way we travel and connecting people across the globe. Whether you love them or hate them, there's no denying the impact they've had and will continue to have on our world. So the next time you book a flight for less than the cost of a tank of gas, take a moment to appreciate the incredible economics behind it. From the no-frills service to the creative revenue streams, low-cost carriers have truly changed the game. And who knows, maybe that $20 ticket will take you somewhere you've always dreamed of going.